What's going on YouTube? I am super excited for today's video as I just received my submission back from SGC. I want to give you guys a little personal review of how I feel about the company, the grades, the slabs compared to PSA and BGS, and the overall turnaround time. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and if you haven't been here before, my name is Dakota. Welcome to Cards Over Stocks. Alright guys, let's go ahead and crack open this and let's check out the cards, see what grades we got, and just give you an overall view of how I feel about the company. Now I do want to say beforehand, this submission I did send in was part of a 100 card submission. It was received by them April 27th. It was supposed to be back to me May 28th, but I didn't actually get it back till June 19th. So what was supposed to be a 20-day turnaround time actually turned into 53 days, which was like 40 business days, which isn't too bad. But I mainly sent them off just to kind of get something graded, kind of get an idea of if I liked the company, if I liked the turnaround times, and if there was a good difference between SGC and PSA when it came to turnaround times. So I'm not very fond of how long it actually took, especially the price differences in cards from SGC to PSA. But let's go ahead and see what grades we got and just kind of go from there. Now I did send a wide variety of cards off. It was 10 total cards. There was a few basketball, a few baseball, a few older vintage cards, and actually a Pokemon card for my son. So let's go ahead and see what the grades were and just kind of see how everything looks. First off is my son's Pokemon card, and that got a 10 actually. The label on it is purple, which I'm not really sure as to why it's purple when I think they're usually black. That's a little different, but I do like the way the Pokemon card looks in there. But even with the black matting inside, there is still gaps on one side of the card, which it doesn't slide or anything in there. But there is like a gap, if you can see that on the thing. So I'm not really sure how I feel about the Pokemon card being in there. So if you can compare it to a PSA Pokemon and a SGC Pokemon, I definitely have to say I like the black matting, but I wish it fit tighter next to the cards, if that makes sense. And a big thing that I don't like about the SGC is how big the grades are. It's just, I feel like it just takes attention away from the actual card. If they made those smaller, made the labels a little better looking, I think it would definitely make the case just look nicer, cleaner, and not, I don't want to be rude, but I feel like it looks a little cheap in my opinion. That's just how I feel about it. So there is the Pokemon card. Up next is one of the Jordan cards that I actually sent off in hopes of getting back before the documentary ended, just so I could, kind of do a quick flip because his prices were going rather crazy. And this is a 1990 Fleer, and that got an 8.5, which I kind of guessed it would. It's an older card that I had just kind of stashed away, and I thought, let's just see what it would get. And now I do really like the way it looks in this case. I like the white borders next to the black matting that they have in there. So definitely if the cards have a white border, I would probably consider sending them off to them again. But like I said, the big thing for me is the label. I wish they would just make the grade just a little smaller, a little more, I don't know, they pop too much for me compared to, actually what the card should be getting the most attention. But that is the 1990 Fleer Jordan. I'm gonna have one more Jordan in here. And this was the 91 Upper Deck, I believe. and that got a 10. Yeah, I like the white bordered cards next to the black matting. I think those look really good. So those may be kind of the cards that I decide to send off there. But another thing that is kind of affecting me wanting to send into them again is the actual price differences. Right now on average, the SGC 10 compared to a PSA 10 is selling 40 to 50% less than what the PSA 10 is, which is kind of alarming. Granted, I don't think a lot of people have caught on to SGC yet. They're still, you know, more modernizing their grading. But sending in the cards, it was $10 per card. PSA is $20 per card, so there's a $10 price difference. I just don't know if the value is there to actually send to SGC when it comes to the modern cards that are going for so much. But the next up is a Luka Doncic 2018-2019 Panini Prism, Luck of the Lottery. And this got a 9.5. This was just, I wanted to see what the modern cards looked like in the cases, what kind of grades they would get. And I kind of went through and, you know, picked through some that I thought would do really well. So this is a Luka Doncic Luck of the Lottery, 9.5. Next on the list is a Eloy Jimenez Topps Chrome Pink Refractor. Let's go ahead and see what we got. Boom. Now this Eloy Pink Refractor Topps Chrome actually got a SGC 10 Pristine, so they give you a gold label.
I love gold!
Which still, in my opinion, still I just feel looks cheap. I feel like there's something that they're missing. I just can't figure it out, but I just feel like the labels look cheap. Granted, SGC Pristine is the top grade you can get on these cards, but it's just, I don't know. It's not there for me, especially with the resale factor. I mean, this card in a PSA 10 may sell for, you know, maybe $70, but in this SGC Pristine 10, I may get $40 for it, which I feel like I would rather just wait for PSA to get my grades back than actually send off to SGC to make, you know, a quick little flip like that when there's more money to be made. Up next is another Eloy Jimenez. And this one also got a 10. This is a 2019 Topps Eloy Jimenez. SGC 10. I mean, I can't complain. I'm getting very good grades. Let's see what's up next. Aaron Judge Topps Series 1 rookie. I actually pulled this one myself. This was the main reason why I sent a couple of these off, because I pulled them myself. I just wanted to kind of see how well I did grading cards, like visual wise. So let's see, a 10. 2017 Topps Aaron Judge SGC 10. See this little gap on these sides. I wish there was some way. On this side there's not one. I wish there was a way that they could fill those in, maybe make the cards fit a little tighter in there. And I'm still debating how I feel about the corners being open like that. I don't know if it would may look better if they just kind of squared it off to where the card fits in there really well. But yeah, that's a SGC 10. You can see there's another gap up top. So yeah, like I said, it was $10 per card. There was a 20-day turnaround. It actually took 53 total days, which is like 40 business days. So it was almost double the turnaround time that they originally told me. So I feel like just waiting. And the next up is a 2018 Topps Shohei Ohtani that I also pulled. I got a 9.5. I just feel like waiting on PSA is the smarter decision because the resale value is so much higher, you know, compared to a SGC 10 to a PSA 10. So looking on eBay and finding SGC 10s and possibly buying them for, you know, 40 to 50% less than what PSA 10s go for, there might be an opportunity there to buy those up, crack and resubmit to PSA if you're okay with waiting. Obviously, there is a wait time. There's always going to be a wait time the way the card market is. But I think there's a lot of money to potentially be made there if you're able to, find those cards that are a high percentage less than what the PSA 10 goes for. Because from what I've seen, what I've heard is that the SGC 10 is grade comparable to the PSA 10. The price difference just is not even close to the same. So that's something I would definitely look into, is possibly grabbing as many SGC 10s as you can, cracking them and submitting them into PSA, and seeing what grades you get back. From what I've seen, the SGC 10 is very grade comparable to the PSA 10. So that's just something I would kind of look into. And up next is a 2020 Topps Gypsy Queen Boba. I like these Gypsy Queen cards. I bought a ton of Chris Bryant Gypsy Queen. I wanted to kind of get the whole collection of them, and I'll probably end up sending a couple in to SGC because I do like the black borders. I just wish they would fit tighter against the cards, and I wish they would do something different with the label. I don't know if it's the black on black that throws me off, but it just looks kind of cheap, honestly. And that's the Boba. And one nice thing about these cards is they do stack up very well. As you can see, they stack up very well, and they have a decent sized groove underneath there for them to stack up like that. And I have one card left, and it is a Nico Horner Gypsy Queen, and that one also got a 10. So personally, I think I did really well on these grades. I thought most of them would get 9.5 to 10s because, like I said, I went through them, found the better cards that were also cheaper cards because I didn't want to send really expensive cards off because the resale value just wasn't there yet. And I don't know, honestly, if it ever will get there. Maybe if more people decide to send off. But yeah, this is a 2020 Topps Gypsy Queen Nico Horner. And that got a 10. And I like I said, I do like the black borders. It's just something about the label that I'm really unsure about. But overall, I think the grading is pretty fair. I did go through them, obviously, but I think the biggest thing to look into is finding SGC 10s, finding them for really far below the market value of a PSA 10, buying those up, cracking them, and resubmitting them into PSA. The overall wait time difference between sending in SGC and PSA is not a huge difference, especially when the price difference is so high. Granted, right now PSA is charging $20 a card and SGC is charging $9, $10, $11 depending on how many you send in. So I think spending that extra $9, waiting the extra 20 to 25 business days or whatever, I think it's definitely worth to just send into PSA, send it to something that has the highest resale value, especially if you are looking to just flip cards. I think there is potential in flipping these SGC cards, but the overall wait time, how much they're reselling on the market, I personally don't think it's worth it. I don't know if I will send in with them again unless the market kind of catches up for their cards and more people are starting to buy them and get interested in them. Like I said, if they fix the label, they make the black matting fit tighter along the cards and maybe square off the black instead of having the corners more visible, I would consider buying more of these. But right now, I still think PSA is king. I think they probably will be for a very long time. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm glad I got 10s, but I don't know if I'll be able to make that much money off them. But if you like the video, please consider subscribing, liking, leave any comments below how you feel about SGC, how you feel about PSA, if you think the market will ever catch up. But until next time, this was Cards Over Stocks. See you soon.